everyone, if you're new here, my name is Jeanette and I am a new small business owner, and today I wanted to do a video where I talk about 10 things you should consider or you should know before starting a small business, whether it's online, in store. I can't say because I don't have an actual physical location, but I do have an online store, which is typically what people are doing nowadays, starting online. As you guys know, a lot of sales are going to online. But anyways, I do have a small clothing shop and we have custom t-shirts and everything. It's called Sacred Sneak. It's actually this cute little logo right here. Today we're gonna jump right into it and I'm gonna tell you guys 10 things you should consider or you should think about from my point of view. So I've only had my business for 2.5 months, almost 3 months, and I wanted to tell you guys what I have thought about and some things I knew, some things I didn't know. I've worked for other small businesses, so I kind of knew some of these, but I'm just going to tell you guys generally off the bat. So number one is very important because I feel like a lot of people jump into these things thinking that this is gonna happen. So the number one thing I will let you guys know is that cute does not equal a sale. So what I mean by that is just because you sell cute merchandise, just because you put a super cute outfit together and people are commenting, oh my god, that's so cute, I want it, blah blah blah, that does not equal a sale. And you guys will understand that once you guys have your store. You'll have so many people tell you the feedback, oh my god, I want it, I'm gonna purchase it, and then they don't actually go through with it. It's not like, it happens to me all the time. I've actually had sales, and I'm super happy about it, but what I'm saying is there is a lot of things that are super cute that I'm even like, dude, it's fucking cute, I don't know how it's not gonna sell, and then that shit doesn't sell. But it's like everyone's like, oh my god, want, or it's so cute, it's so cute. So it's something that you're gonna have to work at and you have to understand. So just keep bringing in, you know, nice stuff, whatever, but it just because it's cute doesn't mean that it's gonna actually translate into a sale. Thing number two is that you have to remember is that you're not getting paid. So that does sound really weird, and you guys are probably like, what do you mean you're not getting paid? But you're not getting paid. So I don't know how you guys would do your finances or not. I do have my own personal method of how I do it, but at the end of the day, I don't get paid. I don't get to keep the money like that. When you're going to these destinations to pick up certain things, you're putting in the time, you're putting in your creativity and everything, you're not getting paid. So it's not like you're getting an hourly pay, and that's something you're gonna have to be okay with. And obviously you're like, okay, it's my store, but I'm just letting you guys know that at the end of the day, you might be investing a lot in gas and certain things like that, and you're not getting paid. So just remember that. Again, it might be different for everybody else, but at the end of the day, you're not getting paid hourly to do and work your ass off. So just have something to consider and to think about. So number three is that you're gonna have to sacrifice. So what I mean by that is you're gonna have to sacrifice your time with your family, your friends. A lot of people, I've said this before in a previous video, that I feel like some of my friends don't really understand, or like, it's not even generally that they don't understand, but they think like, okay, well, you're like self-employed or you have all this time, like, my dog moved the camera, so why can't we hang out, or why can't we do this? And it's like, because you need to sacrifice, because you need to keep investing, you need investing time, investing, you know, like creativity. Everything is really exhausting, like just to keep thinking of ideas and stuff like that. Now if you have someone that does that, or you have like a team, then that's fine. But for me, I literally do everything for my store, everything, even the photo shoots. I take the pictures, so I do everything, I design everything. So to me, you know, I do have to make a lot of sacrifices, like just stay home on a Friday night and see what else I can come up with, or what can I do that's different, or stuff like that, or research, or like look into something that I can do on the side. Like, it's just a lot of sacrifices that you're gonna have to make. And if you love to go party all the time and everything, I don't know if that will actually work out with you. Like, you can still have a store and be selling like cute, unless again you have like a team that's doing it. And again, just for all this, I'm talking about someone who's like a normal person. Like, I'm not Insta famous, I'm not like have like 50,000 followers, like I'm just a normal person. So I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that. So yeah, just remember that you're gonna have to make sacrifices with time, money, energy, creativity, like pretty much everything. Another thing is, I kind of want to like just touch bases of it real quick, because I feel like a lot of people don't know this part about having a small business, is that you do have to pay taxes on each item that is purchased. So like, you know, when you go to Target and like you have like, you buy like a $25 fucking shampoo or whatever, and then it comes out to like 27, and you're like, okay, well that tax that makes it be 27 from the difference of 25 to 27 is a tax that you do have to give back depending on what state you live in. I live in California, but yeah, I don't want to talk about that right now in this video because that's not what it's about. But yeah, that's another thing to consider. No one will understand your pricing. So I've known this before because I've worked for other boutiques, and the thing with the boutiques is they carry the same items, and then they like, a lot of people go on social media and comment like, oh, she has it cheaper, or she has it this, she has it that. But at the end of the day, like, no one will understand your pricing, and no one can talk shit or say anything about that. And I have noticed, haven't heard someone actually tell me like to my face, but I've heard people saying, oh, her shirts are expensive, this and that. First of all, my shirts are not expensive. Let me just say that real quick. They are not expensive. I see so many other people that have generic, no thought out shirts that are expensive more than mine, or generally the same price. So I know they're not, and I've heard people saying that, and that honestly gets me kind of like lit inside, because I'm like, dude, you do not know how much it cost me. First of all, I don't get the items for free. You don't know how much it costed me. You don't know how much the materials to make it costed me. You don't know how much, you know, where I had to go to do it. You know, like, again, at the end of the day, like I said, you're not getting paid. So if I'm going to a place and I'm driving, like, why can't I just charge $1 more because of my gas mileage, or because at least it could cover that in me? Like, I don't deserve $1. Like, you know what I mean? So like, at the end of the day, like, no one will understand. And as far as shipping too, like, I feel like people don't understand shipping. Like, I think people think that you just ship it and you're charging whatever you want. Like, no, like, unless you're a huge company, you have to pay the USPS shipping fee just like everybody else. So it's not like I'm special and I get a discount. Especially if you're a small business, you're not gonna get a discount. It's just the way it is. There's ways around it and everything, but like, shipping is like, at the end of the day, you're paying for shipping, so you don't even have to go anywhere and go to ship it. You don't even have to go to the store, so you're paying $7, which could cost you, if you're going to the mall or whatever you're gonna be, the gas could be like $7 right there. Does that make sense? So like, technically you're doing the same thing. It's like a convenience that you're paying for, and I don't think it's expensive, to be honest. So yeah, so no one will understand your pricing. So even if people say comments, just fucking ignore them. Obviously, don't rip someone off completely, you know, but you have to remember all the time that's being put into it. Also, you have to pay for, you know, like, rebrand. You have to pay for a lot of things. That's not just, oh, the shirt cost me $2, so now she's trying to sell it at 40. And you have to think about stuff like that. You have to think about that it's a brand depending on what you sell. I do kind of see with like boutiques, it could be a little bit more different, just because like people literally just see it. But still, like, at the end of the day, if you feel like someone sells it for expensive, then just be quiet and buy it somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I am. I never think like, say like, hey, you're selling it so expensive. Like, don't get me wrong, I used to say comments like that, like, oh, she's expensive. But then it's like, you have to consider like their time, you know, like you don't just get the shirt and then there it's ready. Like, you still have to steam it, you still have to label it, you still have to do a lot of things that people don't get. Like, I still have to shoot it, and I still have to, you know, have it and do floor pictures and stuff like that. Like, it's time consuming, if that makes sense, and no one will ever understand until they're doing it themselves. And I bet the people that talk shit, I bet they're the ones that, if they had an online store, they would triple the fuck out of that price. I'm just being honest. That's really how I feel. So yeah, so just with your pricing, like, no one's ever gonna understand, and they're always gonna talk shit, and that's fine. Like, some people, don't get me wrong, do just price shit randomly, but some of them actually have something, like, you know, they're paying their monthly fee for their online store. Like, it's not like you could just run a store for free and don't have to pay nothing. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, if you don't like the price on something, then just kindly don't buy it, and that's it. Okay, so another thing I wanted to put to you guys that kind of goes hand in hand is that wholesale is not cheap. So if you are planning to buy wholesale or My Youre or whatever, then just know that it's not like that cheap as what you guys think. Maybe years ago it was, but right now in California it's not. Like, you guys would be surprised, some of this stuff is almost retail cost, and that's why it might seem like, oh, they're selling it so expensive, but it's like, you don't understand how much it costs, if that makes sense. And you know, I still feel like, even considering that, I'm still super generous and considerate with my prices. So just something to keep in mind. Like, you're not gonna be able to like go up somewhere and then just fucking buy everything and have like a shit ton of inventory with a certain amount of money. Like, that's not how it works. I've gotten some certain things, and I'm just like, okay, where the fuck did the money go, you know? So yeah, that's that. It'll add up quickly. Okay, another one is that it is limiting. So you're gonna have some limitations, obviously depending on how fast you sell your product or how much revenue you're making or how much profit or whatever it is, that you're gonna be limiting at first, unless you have like an amazing bank account or whatever, like, you know, you're healthy, you're wealthy or whatever the case may be. I'm just talking for a normal general person that lives in California. So you might be a little limiting because, you know, like you kind of have to make smarter moves. Like you have to think, okay, well, if I get this, it's actually better than just getting all this. Or like I can get all this for a smaller price and then next week try to do this. Like you kind of have to limit yourself and kind of like see what's the best option for you to go on with your store and to bring in new stuff, or what can you do, or what can you, does that make sense? So you're gonna be limited. Like you're not just gonna be able to buy whatever the fuck you want, because that's not how it's working. At least for me it's not, and I feel like a lot of people that have small businesses is kind of the same. You need to be consistent 24/7. So whether you're checking your shit and seeing what, you know, what's trending or what's highly selling in your store or whatever, like, or constantly commenting on people, trying to get interaction with your followers, or, you know, promoting it, whatever it is, it is really like a 24/7 thing. I think about it every day. The moment I wake up, I think, okay, what can I do? Can I do this? Can I do that? And yeah, it's something that you kind of constantly have to be doing content for. One thing that I did realize, and I learned a lot working at 4 different boutiques that I worked for companies, is that you have to be consistent. You have to post every day. You have to be on it every day on all your social media platforms, especially because right now it's free and we don't know when it's going to start charging. I feel like that's soon. So you have to be on it like all the time. Consistency is what gets it. Don't get me wrong, I have some days where I don't even post because I'm so discouraged. Something different and something new, something little, save something for here, something there. Do interact with your customers or interact with your followers and just kind of get to know them a little bit. So you have to be consistent 24/7. So just be cautious of that. Like I know one brand that I actually used to work for, a store, is she would literally wake up like at 4 a.m. to post because she had customers overseas. So you have to think like at 4 our time is different than theirs. And she would tell me that she'll wake up like at 4 a.m. It was actually a couple. It was a married couple, but she would tell me that she would wake up at 4 a.m. and she had the alarm set at 7, like things like that. So I'm telling you guys that it's really true. You can't just think about your time. Also, like, branding is super important, and I'm gonna say that right now because I feel like branding is really what separates you from everybody else. So what do you have? A style or like a brand. It's like when you walk into a store, like you know about, you know, Nike is all about sports and basketball and, you know, working out and stuff like that. So they already branded themselves that when you see that, you already know that that's what they are. And I feel like branding is so important. Do your content with your brand. Like I kind of have like videos suggesting that, but for the most part, branding is everything. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, because that is really important, and you want to instill things in people's minds so that they remember you and that there's something that you create that they're gonna know, oh yeah, that's from Sacred Snake. You know what I mean? Last thing I want to say is that you are gonna have inconsistency when starting off. So maybe the first week you're gonna do bomb as fuck, you're gonna sell so many things, but then the second week it's gonna be no sales, the third week no sales, fourth week one day you're gonna get a sale and you're like woo, and then it's gonna stop again. Like it's inconsistent, at least for a small business. I have had both. So I've had some where like I have a consistent week and then some not so consistent, and then some where it's like, okay, it's been a while, and then sometimes we're like, okay, they bought one thing and then 2 days later someone else bought something. Like just know that there's gonna be inconsistency, and it's hard to not get down. It's hard not to compare yourself. It's hard not to be on your phone and be like, what the fuck, how come they have this and how come they have that and I don't, and how come my this and that. Like it's really like a little mind game. So you kind of have to be okay with that, knowing that you are gonna struggle. It's not gonna be easy. Like I said, just because it's cute, it does not make a sale. That's something that I really want to tell you guys in this video, because I feel like that's really important. And always market and everything, obviously try to come up with new ideas, but just know that you are gonna be discouraged a lot of times. There's a lot of times where I think like, oh, I'm fucking done, I'm giving up or whatever, but then something happens and I'm like, oh shit, like, no, I can't. Like, I can't give up. Or like something happens. Like, I've gotten things where I'm like, damn, like that just lets me know that I'm doing the right thing. I'm pursuing something that I really like, and it tells me that it's meant for me. So I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about these tips. So if you guys are interested or like any of these, you guys can subscribe to my YouTube channel and I could do a little mixture of stuff like that. I'm literally a brand new business owner, just like some of you guys would be. So I know a lot of people make videos on YouTube talking about their businesses, which is great, obviously, especially from someone that already has success. But I feel like it's also important for someone that's literally just starting, because this is where you're gonna be at most likely if you start one and you don't have a big following on Instagram and you're small and you're literally building it from the ground up. And I kind of like that, to be completely honest. I'm building my brand from the ground up, so no one can take that away from me, and I'm excited to see that progress, because if I was just big and I launched and I have a huge store, it's like it's kind of expected, or I don't know if that makes sense, but it's very rewarding to start it from the ground up and see the progress. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Fashion Mess. Follow my Instagram, Sacred Snake, and I will talk to you guys in my next one. Bye!